nuestro estudio, a Damian Jay.
Hello, everybody.
Tenemos también a Marcos Díaz con nosotros, como siempre.
Hola, ¿cómo están?
Y como invitado hoy tenemos a Isaac Garcia, quien tiene experiencia en el campo militar, es experto en lo que se llama tiro de precisión de combate y es instructor del tiro de combate preciso, además de instructor de la NRA, y vamos a estar conversando con él acerca de su punto de vista, acerca de las cosas que están pasando ahora con el coronavirus y el punto de vista en su formación militar. Aixa, bienvenido, mucho gusto, gracias por estar con nosotros.
Muchas gracias por tenerme, Tony, es un placer.
Cuéntanos, en esta semana han sido bien difíciles, yo sé que has estado bastante ocupado y obviamente como todo el mundo bajo cuarentena. Y quisiera saber tu opinión en este momento acerca de cómo ves las cosas en las próximas 2 semanas.
Primero me gustaría dejarles saber que todo lo que voy a hablar hoy es en mi punto de vista, ¿verdad? Entonces, con eso dicho, yo creo que en las próximas 2 semanas, tristemente, las cosas van a seguir como están en el punto de las enfermedades. Ahora, yo creo que como el país, como sociedad, estamos haciendo un trabajo excelente con lo que se ha puesto las medidas necesarias para prevenir el contagio. Yo creo y espero que con las medidas que hemos puesto sea lo necesario para poder detener y terminar esta epidemia.
Yo tengo entendido que una vez que esto empiece a la línea a estar recta, no significa que va a bajar inmediatamente. No. De hecho, creo que en Wuhan escuché que están reapareciendo casos de coronavirus.
Bueno, Tony, eso es algo que es muy difícil hablar de un país que, por lo que se sabe o por lo que se dice, es un país que no es abierto con el público con su información. Entonces, no podemos hablar de algo que puede ser o no puede ser posible porque no tenemos toda la información. Ahora, por lo que tengo entendido, la línea o la curva que tanta gente se refiere no significa que vamos a dejar de tener contagios. La razón que la curva es importante, en mi punto de vista, y lo que yo he visto, es para poder sostener a los hospitales para que no llegue el punto de colapso. ¿Qué significa eso? Que la gente o los números de contagios no lleguen o no pasen a los suministros que tenemos. Eso es lo que el gobierno quiere hacer. No significa que una vez que ganemos la curva, va a dejar de estar la gente infectándose. Right. Con eso dicho, hay que acordarnos que esto es una enfermedad que se puede propagar inmensamente rápido. No es algo que estábamos preparados, pero yo creo que con las pocas medidas que hemos puesto en plazo, yo creo que ha ayudado a detener el contagio masivo.
Y como militar, ¿tú crees que todas las medidas que se han tomado por el gobierno, obviamente, una vez más, tu opinión, tu percepción personal, sin necesidad de entrar en temas militares o información militar, pero tu percepción es que se ha actuado a tiempo o no?
Bueno, es algo muy difícil de llegar a saber si se actúa a tiempo o no. ¿Por qué? Porque tenemos que recordar que no solamente esto es en el país, es algo global. Entonces, si se hizo actuar a tiempo o no, eso es muy difícil de decirlo. ¿Por qué? Porque podemos estar todo el día hablando de el hubiera. Con eso dicho, yo creo que sí, las decisiones que se tomaron a un momento adecuado, cuando tenían la suficiente información para tomarlas. Yo no creo que con algo que hace poco tiempo se comparaba con el flu, podíamos haber cerrado la economía completo o cerrar el país. Entonces yo creo que como las personas en poder no solamente el presidente, sino la Casa del Senado y los representantes. Yo creo que cuando tuvieron la suficiente información para tomar las decisiones que tomaron, fue al momento adecuado. Yo creo que todos podemos estar de acuerdo que nos hubiera gustado que lo hubieran hecho un poquito más temprano y tal vez hubiera mejorado la situación, pero no puede cerrar un país como Estados Unidos o un país como Europa o la Unión Europea solamente por unos casos que apenas empiezan a multiplicarse. Esto es algo que nunca se había conocido y este número de infecciones no es algo que era común. Entonces, por lo que yo tengo entendido, es muy difícil tomar una decisión como cerrar un país al resto del mundo con la poca información que tenían.
Yo estoy de acuerdo contigo. I also agree. Damian, we were talking about that the closure of the country, the ban from the flights or international flights, it was done in the right way based on the information that we got, the government had at that time. So we talked about this last week also, but I just wanted to hear about the personal opinion for a military expert also. So that's why I asked Isaac. Isaac, besides the COVID-19, I wanted to ask you about the measurements that we're gonna take now a little bit earlier, and also wanted that Marco talk a little about the mask, about the protection that we planning to do, and knowing that the consequences of this virus, we're gonna flat the line right now, but at the same time, we know that we're gonna be continuing getting cases of COVID-19. So Marcos, you bring to my attention that you've seen in Miami people selling masks and the cleaning is not the right way to do it. So remember, this program is not only is self-defense, is strategic, and when we're talking about COVID-19, we think about your safety right now. So Marcos, tell us a little bit. Good catch, Damian. I like that.
Before we keep going, just let me say something. The Facebook Live link it's down. El link to the Facebook Live se ha caído. Ahorita no tenemos conexión por Facebook Live. Apenas termina el show, lo vamos a poner live en el Facebook. El grabado de live en el Facebook. Pero ahorita nos pueden escuchar o nos deben estar escuchando a través de pangiafm.com. El número del RDA Show, si nos quieren llamar, nos pueden llamar a 786-453-6646.
Una vez más.
786-453-6646.
Perfecto, muchísimas gracias Marco. Para toda la audiencia, estamos ahora down en la internet vivo, pero van a poder ver el programa después de la transmisión, mientras se pueden conectar a Pangea FM y escucharlo en vivo. Y pueden llamarnos directamente al número que Marco les proporcionó, que es el 786-453-6646. Continúa, Marco. Hablemos de lo que tú me mencionaste acerca de lo que estás viendo en Miami, que están haciendo con las máscaras y cuál es tu inquietud.
Hay mucha gente, e incluso he visto videos que dicen cómo pueden hacer sus propias máscaras de tela, usando alguna bandana, cortando las medias, y de las medias sacan una máscara, entre la media le ponen un trozo de papel y hacen la prueba de que ponen una vela, una candela encendida y la intentan soplar. Obviamente, por lo que tienen el papel entre las dos telas de la media o la tela de la bandana, la vela no se apaga. No es porque sea que es efectivo o que va a prevenir el transmitir el virus. Lo que pasa es que obviamente el papel va a prevenir que el aire vaya hacia la vela y esto la apague. Tengan en cuenta las máscaras que están siendo usadas o que son aprobadas para el intentar prevenir el expandir el virus son las KN95, las N95, las mascarillas quirúrgicas. Incluso las mascarillas de polvo puede que ayude, pero no tienen la calificación como las que acabamos de mencionar.
Sí, es importante que el público entienda que hacer una máscara solamente va a mitigar un poco la expansión del virus, mas no va a evitar 100% o no pudiera evitar 100% la transmisión del mismo. Así que cuando lo hagan deben tomar en cuenta eso y buscar de todas maneras conseguir unas máscaras que sean apropiadas para el uso y evitar que el virus se propague.
Exactamente, podemos ver a Dee, él tiene su máscara, si no me equivoco, esa es una KN95. Las máscaras N95 son muy similares, hay unas que tienen un filtro adelante, hay otras que no tienen el filtro, no es necesario que tengan ese filtro visible que es como un plástico. Con tal de que esté aprobada, que diga que son las N95, les va a ayudar. KN95 es básicamente lo mismo. Las quirúrgicas también les va a ayudar más, pero una tela va a mitigar, pero no es en la misma función que estas máscaras que están aprobadas.
También recuerden que el virus no solamente se transmite porque toses, sino que si tocas algo, tosiste en tu mano, tocaste algo, el virus va a quedar permanente ahí por un tiempo. La máscara te va a prevenir en cierta forma, pero otra de las cosas siempre es lavarse las manos y no tocarse la cara, así que hay que protegerse también en otras cosas. Y tú me ibas a mencionar algo acerca de la limpieza.
Hay muchas maneras de limpiar. El CDC ha sacado un listado de productos que se pueden usar aprobados por el mismo CDC, pero no hay producto hasta ahora que te diga es garantizado que tú se limpia, o hay gente que aprovechando el pánico te cobran $5,000 por limpiar una oficina y te digan ya este producto no tienes que volver a limpiar más. No es así,
No.
no hay producto que tenga un efecto residual. Es decir, si uno limpia, alguien pasa que puede tener el virus, toca algo, estornuda, tose, habla. Al momento de hablar hay pronunciaciones que te hacen de todas maneras, básicamente como saltar un poco de saliva. Al caer ahí, ya queda ahí. El producto no es que va a quedar limpiando esa área por un determinado periodo de tiempo. Hay que volverlo a limpiar. Por eso es que en condominios las áreas de tráfico alto se deberían de limpiar 2 a 3 veces al día. Por decir, los botones de los elevadores, los pasamanos, la manija de las puertas en las áreas comunes. 2 a 3 veces al día con un químico que esté aprobado y el químico que quede básicamente trabajando sobre la superficie por un aproximado de 10 minutos, recomendablemente. Hay químicos que son 5 minutos, pero muchos de estos químicos no se tienen que enjuagar. Si no lo tienes que enjuagar, déjalo puesto por unos 10 minutos y va a trabajar lo mismo. Eso no implica que mate el virus que quede en el aire. Por darte un ejemplo, si alguien estornuda, mucho de las bacterias, de los virus, de la saliva, de todas esas cosas, cuando están en concentración alta, van directo al piso. Pero muchos otros quedan en el aire, en el cual ese químico no lo puede limpiar. Básicamente, tú no puedes agarrar un trapo de microfibra, aplicarle el químico y ponerte a limpiar el aire. Es algo, suena medio gracioso, pero es imposible. Hay varias formas de limpiar el aire, por así decirlo. 2 de ellas que se me vienen ahora mismo a la mente son estas vapores, unas máquinas que hacen un vapor, les pones el químico, funcionan con electricidad, cargan, como decir, el vapor con electricidad, que es lo que va a matar el virus. Uno lo spraya, ya sea tanto el aire como las paredes, las superficies duras, y va a matar el virus en el aire y en las superficies duras. Hay otras que son unos vaporizadores, gente los conoce como bombas. Uno activa la bomba o el vaporizador, es como un can en spray, un bote en un sprayador, que uno lo activa y eso comienza a sprayar. Cuando uno utiliza eso, tiene que salir del área. Recomendable si están usando eso. Poca gente sabe de eso como un desinfectante. Muchos lo usan como venenos que lo encuentran en, por ejemplo, aquí en Florida, Home Depot, Lowe's, lo encuentran los venenos que son en vaporizadores. También hay desinfectantes. Y también hay que seguir las reglas adecuadas, apagar las alarmas, los sensores de humo, todas esas cosas que se pueden activar porque pueden, es como si fuera un vapor, el vapor actúa como si fuera un humo, puede desactivar las alarmas de incendio, va a llegar el fire rescue, etcétera. Siempre seguir las indicaciones.
Sí, yo pienso que eso que está diciendo es muy importante y es parte de lo que es la seguridad personal, seguridad en la casa y seguridad social. Y todo se une en un punto, porque si nosotros no usamos el equipo necesario, no esterilizamos las cosas en nuestra casa o en nuestras oficinas, una vez que ya la línea esté recta y empiece a decaer, pues tenemos que tomar en cuenta eso. Y Isaac, antes de ir con Isaac nuevamente, nosotros estamos en CTU buscando un tipo de químico que pueda ser nebulizado a través de estas maquinarias para entrenar a las familias y a los negocios para protegerse también. Una vez que tengamos eso, esperamos poder sacarlo al público y que ustedes sepan lo que estamos haciendo y puedan entrenar. Isaac, once again, the reason why I like you to be here is because you were in the military, you're still doing some military stuff. But as Marcos said, people don't know about this. And I wanted to know how is the procedures on the military, because they have to clean everything multiple times and restrict the access to get the virus back to wherever they are. So how you guys being trained on that? Is a training? Is a testing? How you guys prevent it?
The best way that I could refer to this, right? It would be something comparable to chemical warfare or CBRN is what we call it, which is a chemical radiological and virus. So that's when it comes to putting the hazmat suits that are made to be able to combat and prevent stuff like gas, mustard gas, other type of agents, anthrax, stuff that we've seen being used by regimes and other countries in warfare. And it is something that you do train for because it hasn't been used, to my understanding, in about 10 years. It's something that it's still up to date, but it's not something that it's issued here, right? This is not something they give you unless you're being deployed. Now, if you're deployed, then it's a different story. I cannot talk about exactly what it is that they do when you're there for safety reasons and just because it changes every time you go out. With that being said, though, at least in my understanding of my experience, in at least the Marine Corps, I do know that they do some type of gas chamber training yearly. It's a thing where you have to learn how to properly put on a mask, how to clear the mask, how to operate with that mask on, right? I don't think this is something that it's related to the COVID-19 due to the fact that these masks are not, their intended purpose is not this. The intended purpose of that mask is, like I said, a chemical attack, right? Something that's used as a weapon and used for a combat use or combat mindset. I have seen people out on the streets walking around in full, hazmat suits. But you have to remember that when it comes to that, then you have other things like cross-contamination, right? And I see it all the time. You have people walking around with gloves on, and they have their either their homemade mask or their approved commercially bought mask, and you'll see them walking around, grab a shopping cart, they start pushing it around, and the first thing they do is they look at their phone, right? They pick up the phone, and then they're gonna go talk, and they put it to their face. You just negated wearing those masks and putting that glove on because you made contact with a surface that's highly populated, and then you went ahead and touched your phone and put it to your face. So at that point, there's no point of wearing that mask or wearing those gloves. I've also seen where they get to the car, they take their car keys, same thing they have for the house keys. They take off their gloves to get inside, but they touch the keys with their hand while they were wearing the gloves. So I do believe that, you know, we have to be careful and we have to wear the protective equipment, but we just can't forget about the simple things. You know, you can't be touching your phones, you can't be touching keys, you can't be touching your face. I mean, I've seen it. People walking around with gloves and then they want to scratch their nose, right? And they lift the mask and scratch their face. What's the point of wearing the gloves at that point? That being said, I do believe it's just a sanitary thing that we should learn, and everybody should take the time to learn how to properly put on gloves, how to work with contaminated substances. It doesn't have to be COVID-19, right? It could be something as simple as blood. Let's say you're driving on the street, there's a car crash, and hopefully you have the training and the experience or the equipment to be able to help that person out. But you don't know that person, so you don't know what they've been exposed to, and you don't want to expose yourself or your family to that, right? So just putting on simple latex gloves and helping them out, and then at the same time, you're preventing yourself from getting contaminated with whatever it is they have, if they have something.
Okay, got it. No, that's a great recommendation, and it's important that people, you know, see your point, see the way that you know it's not only the mask or the gloves. I've seen people, you know, let's say, I don't want to mention any food restaurant or anything that you go, but they're using the gloves. But sometimes they probably sneeze or they touch something and they give you the food. So still, the virus is going to be catching us sooner or later. That's what I think. So we have to be prepared. We have to keep working on the immune system, which is basically the first shield that you need to do. Then after the mask, the cleaning and all that. But you have to worry about your immune system. So prepare your body in order, if you catch the virus, it's not going to be so hard. Because as far as I know, the problem that we're getting into this country is that because it's so fast, the way to propagate the virus, then the medical resources collapse. So that's when you see that people don't have the ventilator at the beginning. Now, thanks God, we have a great movement. Thanks to the military people. Thank you, Isaac. Thank you to the Army. Thank you to the National Guards that they're doing an excellent job moving equipment everywhere. And thanks to the administration that is doing an incredible job. I believe that is amazing. It's huge, but you know, it's being done. Now we have full equipment, and I believe that the lines are going to start flooding. People are going to get treatment on time, and then we're going to see less diseases on the next incoming days and months. But the virus is going to still with us for a little while. So we have to prepare the immune system, like you say, and prepare ourselves in order to, if one of the families get caught with the virus, we need to take the real action. We have to follow the guidelines for the government. We have to follow the news also to be informed. And hopefully a treatment came soon so we can get the immune vaccine or whatever on time and we don't get the virus. But I believe that, you know, that's what we can say about the virus, and let the expert keep working. Thank you for your point of view. Now, I just wanted to do the second part of the show, talking about what we do. We do defense, we do training. You are the combat marksmanship expert, Isaac. I wonder, and also welcome back, because I know that you've been busy, and you're going to be working with us in CTU, bringing people for the training, which is now we have all kind of different trainings. We have all the way from basic pistol, basic fundamentals, marksmanship basic, all the way to the expert competition. And now we also have combat marksmanship, thanks to Isaac, who's going to bring us with that. Yeah, so Isaac, tell us what is your plan in the next few weeks while the quarantine is still?
I do believe when it comes to gun self-defense and uh, basically marksmanship, I believe that you could do 80% of the training without firing a single round, right? Repetition. The way you get good is by keeping it consistent, right? Dry fire training is a perfect way of doing that. Doing laser, right? There's certain equipment and tools out there that you could go ahead and use to help you stay sharp with your skills. This is like anything else, right? This is like any sport. This is like any type of hobby, if you want to call it. You only get good by doing it. If you don't practice, if you don't put in those repetitions, you don't put out that time, you're not going to have the results that you want. In my area, at least, I don't know everywhere else where people are listening from, a lot of the gun ranges are actually closed, so you can't do much of a live fire action. But I do know that you can do a lot of training from home, with just very little equipment. Me personally, I do a lot of dry fire when it comes to gun handling and basically just making sure that I'm doing the right things appropriately. Just basically smooth, slow is smooth, smooth is fast. That's
Can you repeat that, because I love that expression, and
yes.
You always say
slow is smooth and smooth is fast. If you do it slow and you do it right for 100, 200, 300, 1,000 times, and then when the time comes, it's just gonna kick in. It's you're just gonna react, and it's called. That's why you build muscle memory. It's one of those things where it becomes your natural reaction. That's what we want to get to, where your reacting is a natural reaction, so you're not thinking at the moment.
right. You create a memory muscle that everybody's talking about, and then when you need to do it, if you need to do it fast, you already know the movement that you need to do, and you're gonna do it actually fast but accurate. Is that right? So in CTU, we do with the CTU Federal Academy, CTU security, you guys can get all the equipment based on all the way from tactical bicycles that you see down behind me, tactical equipment that you can see also behind Isaac, and we are NRA instructors, so we start from there, but we start with like Isaac said, we start with the dry fire. We use different equipment, and let me just refer you a little bit something that Isaac is saying. We all train together. This is not a real gun. This is just an airsoft gun. But something that you need to do, remember, is always keeping safe. When you holster it, the trigger have to be covered. And once again, this is not a real gun. This is just an airsoft, a training gun, as you can see the red tip on front. And also the magazine, you see what it is. It's just a little BBs that we train. When he said dry fire, you can use it with the BBs or without the BBs. The important is the movement, right, Isaac? That's what you're trying to say?
Yes.
Okay. And then when you do the training, also, let's check there's nothing in here. And I just wanted to remember, as an NRA instructors, anything that we say has to follow the 3 rules, which is never put the finger in the trigger, treat your gun as it's always loaded, or don't load it until it's ready to shoot, and never point the muzzle to something that you're not willing to destroy. So those are the first recommendations that we make. And this is just made for graphic purpose, that you can train with that without expose yourself. Can you explain me, Isaac, or Damian, can you explain me why we use these kind of training guns in order to do the slow, smooth is fast? Damian, I can hear you. Okay.
Put your volume down a little bit.
Do you hear what I'm saying?
What we do is we use these right here. I have the same thing that you have. These are 1-for-1 replicas of the actual firearm of a Glock 17. We use these for our P2P and force on force style training. You can use it. It's labeled as dry fire. You can use these, as Isaac said, for hours. You could be home for hours with this and get all your training in without firing off one real round. And these will give you the exact simulation of any real gun that you can carry. If you carry a Glock, this gives you the exact simulation of a Glock. These are 1-for-1 replica. They can go in any holster that a Glock goes into. They shoot rounds, the mag comes out, they cycle. You have to charge a load, you have to pull a slide back. Once it's out of rounds, the slide comes out. But we also have a training screen, a virtual training screen, where it shoots laser, which is another form of dry fire training. Where you can train. We have different scenarios, up to over 9,000 scenarios. We also have we have a sim range.
Wow, 9,000 is a lot, but I believe it's 900 scenarios. Still, you need more than a year in order to review all the scenarios, Damien. It's a huge training that we got in CTU, right?
Exactly. It is a training that you can't get anywhere else right now. Well, we can go from a virtual screen and do sim range training, and then we can go to airsoft and do airsoft training, which are both forms of dry fire.
The advantage to do this is because, first of all, you're doing it into a safe scenarios, right? Second, you don't spend too much money in ammo because you don't need it. When you go to the training, when you go to a range, it's one kind of training as a marksmanship. But in the real life, you're gonna find different scenarios that is not only shooting steady to a target, that also is gonna be steady and not gonna shooting at you. So with the virtual screen, we can find some different scenarios that we can see action that is reacting against us, Damien? Damien? Yes, basically what the virtual it does is they have different scenarios for marksmanship, but with movement, and also we have scenarios that is kind of real scenarios used by the police departments and also some military to react, how you're gonna react. So it's any way that you can show us, Damien, about the virtual screen right now, something that they can see benefits.
Yeah.
And I believe that you and I believe that, I know that you and Isaac are in CTU right now. So it's any way that you can interact, you can show the first time Isaac's gonna use the virtual screen.
Of course, that's why I'm here. So come on, Isaac, let's show these people how we use the screen. So right now the screen is cutting on. So let me change my camera so you can see the screen.
Yeah.
Tony, while they are setting up, keep in mind we are not live on video right now. They are listening to us, but as soon as the show ends, they will set it up to be not live, but they will be on video. Everybody will be able to see this through the video after the show ends.
Right. Yeah. That's why I just wanted to leave all the things done, and for the people that are having the show online, I mean, just by hearing the show, the virtual screen is a tool that is made for police and concealed training. Why? Because when you go to a range, especially if you are new with guns, the only thing that you know is that you have a gun and whatever you see on the movies. But many of the movies have really bad productions that they don't take care about how you're gonna handle it. as we say, the first rule is not to put the finger into the trigger. It's not the first, but it's one of the three main rules. Don't put the finger on the trigger. And yesterday I was looking at the one movie with Sandra Bullock, and they did excellent, man. They do the finger out of the trigger. They didn't point to anything, except in one scene. Then you see that the finger is in the trigger. But anyway, we know that it's movies. And you're going to see so many movies, they don't take care about that. So the first people that, the first time gun owners have to think that they have to train several times, and it's better to do it with a training gun with no real ammunition, so that way they don't expose themselves, they don't expose their family, their friends, or whoever is around them. So our recommendation in VTU is that you start training with the training guns, airsoft, laser, or any other one, so you can practice and start making that muscle memory. That every time that you get the gun, you apply the three main rules. Never put the finger on the trigger, never point anything you're not willing to destroy, and treat the gun as it's always loaded. So once you do that several times, when you carry and get your real gun, you're gonna take care of that. Because mistake happens, and we don't want you to guys to have mistakes. So going back to the virtual is a laser that the camera captures the laser point, and you're gonna see real scenarios where in some cases it's made for concealed people that having the concealed weapon permit. So you're gonna see scenarios when somebody's coming out of the car, is discussing with you, is trying to escalate, and then there are different scenarios. Some of them de-escalate, some other ones escalate to the point that you're gonna see on the video that he's gonna draw the gun, and then you have to decide if you're gonna shoot or you're not gonna shoot. You're gonna practice how to draw your gun, because actually it's concealed, so you have to learn how to do it faster than your opponent or your threat. And then you're gonna hit it or not. You're gonna see, it's the beauty of this screen is that you're gonna see where you hit it, because it's a laser sensor on it. So whatever you hit, you shoot, is gonna be marked on the screen. And then many people that goes, even if they are very, very good on a range, regular gun range, when they go to the screen, they're gonna see that many other factors are involved. First of all, the decision maker. Second one, the speed. Third, pressure, because you're gonna be working under pressure. You're gonna have somebody that is gonna shoot at you, and then you have to decide to draw and shoot. But when you shoot, sometimes if you're not training good training scenarios like this, which are very, very similar to the real scenarios, then you're gonna see that the bullets, you're gonna hit the wall behind, you're gonna hit somebody behind. So you're gonna miss at least 2, 3 bullets until you hit the guy. Sometimes the guy's gonna...
Waiting for you already.
Oh, they're ready? Excellent. So let's do a test. Damian, we are ready for you. Tell us, guide us. And whoever is listening, we recommend that you, after that, go to the podcast, go to the internet, Pangea, and look for the video so you can see a little bit of the demo. Right now,
your microphone is off.
All right, here we go. Now I got it.
Okay, well, now I'm gonna let you guide us, Damian, so people explain to the people that are listening right now what you guys doing, so they can go and see the video live.
Okay, right now we're in the office here at CTU in Doral. and we're using our sim range. So with this virtual screen, we have a sim range as well as a situational trainer. So we're going to go through a couple of drills that we can have you do here with this range, which will give you dry fire training, which will help you with sight target, sight picture, and all the fundamentals of shooting. So as you see, you can see the screen. So what we do is we will set up our marksmanship drill, which you see. This is our marksmanship drill. What it is a target, just like you would have at any gun range, which is set up right now at 7 yards. So what will happen is the shooter will shoot at the target just like any gun range, and it will simulate with the laser training. It will give you a target of hit of where you hit the target at. So we're going to give a demo of that. So right now we have Isaac here, and this is his first time using it. And we're going to do the marksmanship drill. So right now we have one shooter, which will give 10 shots at this target. And what this drill does, it gives you a grouping. That's why it's a marksmanship drill. It gathers a grouping of your closest 4 shots that will be in a 2-inch radius. So we're going to start the drill. Wait, now you have to wait. So it makes you, now you can shoot. As you see, it doesn't allow you to shoot back to back. It gives you a shoot signal. So now it tells you to wait. Now shoot. And there's an arrow, which is a shot indicator. So what this does, it helps you have a controlled shot. It doesn't let you focus on pulling the trigger, but it has you focus on your marksmanship. So right now we're doing 10 shots, 7 yards, and it's at a pace. You can't go rapid fire. As you see, it's red, now it's green, gives him that okay to shoot. Now, as you see, it has a distance of 7 yards, and it would count 4 out of the 10 closest. But as you can see, he did very well. In a 2-inch.
Your mic is gone.
In the 2-inch radius, he had all, once again, let me say it again. That's the red circle is the 2-inch radius, and you can see where all his shots are placed.
Well, remember that Isaac is expert marksmanship. So he did very well. And this is very important that when you do it that way, it means that even under pressure, you're going to hit the target. And then everything.
A real life people, like people you will find on the streets or something like that?
Yes. Sorry, Marcus.
I'm here.
Can you put an example of like real life people, like what people will find in the streets or something similar?
Yes, put some scenarios that looks like, you know, on the videos against for conceal or ambush or police. So that way they can see a little bit. Remember that our time is limited, and we would like that to show them a little bit what we can do in CTU Federal Academy. So right now what he does, Isaac been using the target, and he shot very well in a range of 2 inches based on 7 feet distance. But now he's gonna do another demo that is gonna be with a like a virtual scenario where he's gonna confront real people.
Before we do that, I wanted to do one more drill, then we're going to go to the virtual.
Okay.
So right now, we have our next drill, which is something you can't do at any gun range. So,
okay.
right now, we have what is called our time reduction drill. Now, this is a very good drill.
Okay. In the meantime, while you do that, we're going to thanks again CTU Security for providing us with the equipment. Also, CTU Federal Academy, which is does the training, and also to Pangea FM and their digital platform that allowed us to go to our audience and show them what we do. Ready, Damien?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay,
So
go ahead. It's all yours.
Right now, we're doing a time reduction drill. We have 5 shots. And what happens is the target comes up and you have to put 5 shots on the target. And what it will do, it will time.
Lee, sorry to cut you off.
So
we have 4 minutes.
Isaac.
Keep going.
We got Isaac. Okay, you hear me?
Yes, we can
Isaac
hear you, but you have only 4 minutes. So just keep going.
All right, we're going to make it quick. We're going to make it quick. It's only 5 shots. So once the target will come up, 5 shots. Now, as you see, target came up and he shot 5 shots in less than 3 seconds on target. So next, we're going to go to our situational trainer because we're running low on time.
Yeah, and this is just to let people know what we can do. We do that in a virtual screen. And then after that, we also do with the training guns where you're gonna do a little bit, probably we can do force to force, which means you're gonna compete with another one and you're gonna pay the pain penalty. That's what the Jason always said, right? And then we also do that with I Protect USA on Tuesday, of course, because the quarantine, we cannot do that now. But yes, we train within different, we're still training. We are NRA instructors. We are combat marksmanship trainers like Isaac. We have snipers. We have many people that do we are experts, but we're still training. Why? Because we don't know, and hopefully we never be in a situation that we need to use the guns. But if that happens, then we're gonna be able to do it in the right way. And that's the responsible way to use a gun. If you are a gun owner, please remember, do the training. Do the training. Keep training in your home, train with your people, train to your wife, with your son, with your daughter, and find out a way to do it in a responsible way. Responsible way, don't start training with a real gun in your house.
This thing picks when it wants to work.
Talk to us. We can guide you through the way so you can get the training guns, or you can do the training with the laser and the virtual screen. And that's going to be a responsible way to train. Marcos, anything that you wanted to add to what I said?
Tenemos varias formas de entrenar con el laser, que es lo que estamos viendo ahora con Isaac, cómo está haciendo básicamente el primero fue como si fuera en un range. Después tenemos varios escenarios que van a seguir yendo un poco más, cada vez más difíciles. Y como lo acabas de decir con Jason, close quarter combat, cómo reaccionar cuando hay un atacante frente a frente, cuando alguien más nos está apuntando. Y Enrique, los voy a tener que cortar, ya estamos con la hora, son las 55. Siguiente training va a tener que ser para la siguiente semana.
Oh, wow. El tiempo voló, pero bueno, vamos a pasarles también un video en nuestras redes, van a poder ver lo que hacemos. Damian, it's late, we have to cut. Once again, our mission is to let our audience to know to do the training in a responsible way. And thank you, Pangea FM and the platform. Thank you, CTU Security. Thank you, CTU Federal Academy. And once again, thank you, Isa, for being with us. Thank you for your service also. Thank you all the military personnel that is working really, really hard in order to get us out of this pandemic. And thank you to all the medical securities, all the people that are working really hard in a patriotic way to keep us safe. Thank you, Isa, once again. Thank you. Anything that you wanted to say, Damian? Isa, first of all, anything else that you wanted to say before we quit?
I just wanted to thank you guys for having me here. It was a pleasure, and hopefully we can do this again.
Thank you very much. Damian?
All I want to do is say thank you, everybody, for watching. Don't forget, be safe, be responsible.
Marcos?
Thank you, and we will be uploading the video of this as soon as we can.
Excellent. Thank you very much to everybody. See you next week.
See you next week, everybody.